Peace and blessings, everyone, and welcome to Veteran Arts on Air. Once again, I am your host, Mel L. My co-host for this week is unfortunately not with us, so that means it will be me bringing you all of the information from our National Veterans Arts Museum and some of the surrounding arts programs that we work with. So feel free to give us a call at 312-738-1060. Call in, talk to us. Let's see what's going on in your world. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is music and the lyrics and the things that kind of bring people together over a common goal. Myself being a veteran of the Marine Corps and the current war that was in Iraq, I used a lot of symbolisms and things like that in the music that I've written. So I was talking to some friends of mine and we were debating some of the lyrics in some of these songs. And I figured I'd give the callers and the people out there viewing us the chance to tell me what you think about some of these words here. So the name of this piece is called Ready for War. And it goes, it's a hardcore, on the edge, trigger happy psychopath. May not be at first, but you will be before the last day. You're trained to survive the mental and the physical, fighting for a country that's designed to demolish you. So what are you supposed to do? Let them take control of you, or take the things you learned to bring more power to the people? Forget fighting terrorism there, I'm fighting terrorism here. President is black, but black people still live in fear. Unemployment goes up, economy crumbles down. So I'm loading up my clip and I'm busting every round. I'm prepared to die, but I fight because I want to live. One shot, one kill. Life's a war that I'm ready for. See, I'm locked and loaded with a full metal jacket. Knife on my side, gas mask, had to pack it. Cause you never know when these things could get drastic. Bullets and grenades, letting everybody have it. It's on. Alright, so give me a call in. Let me know what you think. One of the things about that particular piece for me, though, that I've noticed that most people, when they hear it, they automatically think, guns, violence, and things of that nature, especially in a city like the one that I live in now, Chicago, which is very, very violent. But in all actuality, the majority of that song was actually about preparing myself for life and fighting the war using my brain, the knowledge. So the loading up the clip would be the brain that I'm talking about. All right. So that being said, let me tell you guys a little bit about some of the things that have been going on at the National Veterans Arts Museum as of late. Currently, they have just started doing guided tours over at the museum. You can catch those tours every Friday and Saturday. Fridays and Saturdays at 11 a.m., 1 p.m. on Fridays, and 3 p.m. on Saturdays. For any reservation are not required, but if you would like to, just arrive about 5 minutes earlier to join one of the tours. For more information, please give a call to 312-326-0270. Right. Also, recently, the National Veterans Art Museum had a Brush with Happiness fundraiser, which was March 26th. The fundraiser was for the How I've Changed What I See mural project that is done in conjunction with the Arts Alive 45 at Gale Street Inn and community sponsors. Basically, they're wanting to bring some arts out to help beautify the neighborhood where our museum is located. So for those of you veterans who would like to submit some artwork, please send your submissions online to www.nvam.org. All right. Looks like we've got a caller. Joe, you're on the air. Speak to us.
Hi, sir. I have a problem with some people. Some people think because you've been in the military and they look at people a lot of times are very aggressive, violent. And when I was in the Marines, contrary to some people's belief, some of the most peaceful people I have met have been in the military. Yeah. And somehow, I don't know what's wrong with some people that have this in their ideas, like somehow, depends on what branch of the military it is, they think that they are mindless robots and they can't think for themselves.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you 100%. Myself being a Marine, I've dealt with it many a time. Simplify to you.
But so, that's the problem, though, because, I think a lot of where they are a general or wherever they are admiral, I think they don't want to have robots. They want people to be able to think. They want people to be able to adapt and deal with certain things. And robots, they can't do that.
Right.
And like I said, I have seen people that been in the military that's into the different types of arts, you know, like the like you want to talk about drawing or photography and so on, whatever. And some people don't know in different branches of the military, they have people do different types of like archive type work, you know, collect different types of art. They don't realize different branches of the military, they do have people that's they do have arts, even the military. People don't even want to realize that, though. The military is not always about having people going out here killing people.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things to talk about that, you know, freedom is a flavor the protected rarely taste. And what that's saying is that, you know, people don't really want to think too much into what our military does for them. All they want to know is that, can I sleep at night? And you're absolutely right. Like, some of the best artists that I've met over the years have been military artists. This was before I joined the military, and many more afterwards. But
you know,
I think
one of the problem is, and people got to understand the chain of command. And then when you have people coming home from the military, sometimes, and we still got some of those people that think these guys in the military, they go out and they kill the women, they kill the children. They don't understand in terms of the military structure, okay? Because good, bad, right, or wrong, you have to follow the orders. And the ones that's up at the top, like the admirals and the generals, they the ones got to take the responsibility, take some of that stuff off. How you put it? The people that's on the ground, and they got to understand certain things about the military. Until you understand certain things about the military, sometimes, and I always say this, please put brain in gear before putting mouth in motion. Absolutely. Take care.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you calling. Take care. Peace and blessings. And, you know, Joe is absolutely right. You know, one of the things that people have to understand is that, you know, there is a chain of command. There are people that are out there following orders. Where I think you run into an issue with things like that is that sometimes people that are following those orders will look at it as a brainless, motionless, or mindless type of thing, to where if you're told to go do something and you're not thinking about it, you may wind up doing something you have no business doing. There's a morals clause that all of us hold. You know, honor, courage, and commitment is something that we have all held on to, especially myself, over the years. It's something that I teach to my students nowadays. It is something that you've got to constantly make sure that you are on top of. And I will say, too, myself being a Marine, most of the trouble that I've gotten into isn't because the Marine Corps made me violent or made me a scary person. It's because people like to provoke you because they find out that you are in the military. And that's one of the things that me as an artist and a lot of other veteran artists try to get people to understand, is that now we are not all mindless robots. We are people. We have feelings. And we've lived through some things and seen some things that the average person should not have to see. So because of that, you know, we may come across a little standoffish, but I guarantee you, the average veteran is not that way. You can find us. You can talk to us. We are very peaceful people. Like I say, but in order to have peace, sometimes you have to prepare for war. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Again, call in and let me know what you think. The number here, again, 312-738-1060. Also, getting back to some of the things that our Veterans Arts Museum will be doing. April 14th, two of the National Veterans Art Museum's own will be guest speaking at Wilmette Theater for the opening of Hair, the musical. That will be Bill Christ and Destiny O will be out there. The performance starts about 7:30. We'll be out there giving some panel discussion, so you can come out and actually meet some of the staff members that will be working at the museum. You can talk to them, ask questions, and do your thing. All right. Also, April 20th, there will be a book reading of Boo Koo Dinky Dow, My Short Crazy Vietnam War. It'll be April 20th at 2 p.m. at the National Veterans Arts Museum. This is a free event, so come out, hang out with the people who will be doing the reading, and learn a little bit more about the Vietnam experience through one particular artist's eyes. All right. Also, and this is probably one of my personal favorite things, the therapeutic arts workshops are open and active now. So we talked about these a little bit during my last run here. But we've got these things that will be coming up here very briefly or very soon. April 13th, from 1:30 to 3:30, and again April 27th at the same time. So the therapeutic crafts workshops is absolutely free. All materials are provided, so to give you a chance to come out and get into some arts therapy. So let's see what else has been going on out here. It's been a lot of crazy things going on. I recently got a chance to travel down to Austin, Texas for the South by Southwest festivals. And while I was down there, not only did I get to meet a lot of wonderful artists, but I also met quite a few veterans who were walking around down in that area telling their story to the masses of people who were walking the streets of Austin. While I was there giving my performances, I met a young man by the name of Bill who recently served in Afghanistan. And he was standing outside on the corners just telling the people, anyone who would listen, about the experiences that he went through and how it was a difficult experience, but it also made him a better person because it made him understand and realize a little bit more the severity and the realness of life. Looks like we've got another caller. So, Nelson, let's go.
How you doing, Melvin?
I'm good. How about yourself?
So far, so good.
All right. What's on your mind?
I was curious. You said something earlier about spoken word, and I was just wondering if you're not unable to go to, these special dates that you're speaking of, are any of these performances on YouTube so that if you can't go, you still get a chance to see them?
No, absolutely. If you go to anywhere on YouTube and type in the National Veterans Arts Museum, you can find a lot of their exploits and things of that nature there. Also, the collective that I work with, the Microphone Misfits, you can find a lot of our concerts as well as some of our speaking engagements on YouTube as well. Just type in the Microphone Misfits, MISFITZ, and you can find a lot of that information there. Because we realize there are a lot of people who can't get out, and we want to make sure that our message is universal and can be brought to anyone. So give us a look up.
Are you also utilizing social media by using Facebook?
Absolutely. National Veterans Arts Museum is also on Facebook. Myself and the Microphone Misfits, we are all out there as well. Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams. So you can also see the work that we are doing with the youth in our cities, doing the, I don't like to call it anti-recruitment, but making sure that the kids in our city who are doing the JROTC programs and things like that have a fair and balanced understanding of what they're getting into when they're actually getting into it.
Okay, that was my comment.
All right, peace and blessings. All righty. So, I love talking to people. It's a lot more fun than just sitting here going over bantering by myself. So, a bit more about the National Veterans Arts Museum. Since they have moved to their current location, it's been a while since I've actually been out to that spot. But I will tell you, one of the things that I like most about this place is it is a place where even if you're not an artist, or even if you have not been through the military, there is something there for you, something that will catch your eye and kind of give you a glimpse of the realism and the things that our veterans have to go through their everyday lives, not just through the war, but coming home from the war and being able to deal with people and society and being able to readjust to the everyday ins and outs of living here in this wonderful country of ours. So if you have not been to the museum, I suggest highly that you stop by and go and check out the place. If you are needing the address is 4041 North Milwaukee Avenue, the Six Corners in Portage Park. All right. Again, that is 4041 North Milwaukee Avenue. They are open Tuesday through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right, so please give us a call, stop by, come and see us at any given time. Upcoming exhibits, Tenacity and Truth, People, Places, and Memories will be having their opening reception on May 25th. Which the museum will remain open on Memorial Day to honor the holiday and the exhibit opening. The artworks are from their permanent collection there, Some pieces have been in storage for over 10 years. It's the first time they'll be seen in a very long time. And again, this, once again, is a free reception from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So if you're out and about and you're looking for something to do on Memorial Day, please stop over to the museum. They would love to have you. And you will see a lot of veterans that will be out that day. So you can talk one-on-one to a lot of different people to get a lot of different perspectives on military life, and not just through the current wars, but past wars, the Vietnam, World War I, II, First Gulf War, so on and so forth. There's a lot of stuff going on. So, welcome home. Opening on Veterans Day is one of our temporary exhibits that is currently on display. It is about returning combat soldiers and the many challenges that faced by veterans upon their arrival home. One of our featured artists, Dr. Charles Smith, is a Vietnam veteran, and Ash Kyrie is a Iraqi veteran as well. Both of their works are on display there, so that you can go by the museum, check them out, see what's going on with those folks out there. All right. And now I'd like to take a moment to talk about something that I mentioned briefly, which is the violence, not just in this city of Chicago, but in this country of ours as a whole. It has gotten to a point where it is unnecessarily and completely out of hand, and it is something that I feel very strongly about, something that I talk to my students about constantly, which is how do we individually stop or do something to curb this violence that is going on in our cities. Right now, living in Chicago and coming from Flint, Michigan, which is one of the most dangerous cities in America, one of the ways that I've found to kind of keep yourself or push yourself away from these types of avenues is to make sure, first and foremost, that there's got to be a good family structure in place to make sure that, hey, you know where your kids are, you know what your kids are learning, you know the things that are being put into their heads. So even once they go out into the streets, they are not out there without any type of guidance and morals. Those things have to start at home. So ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that we are actually taking the time to talk with our kids and make sure that they know right from wrong. There's been a lot of talk out there about gun control and things of this nature. And I tell you, gun control starts at home. If you're not going to teach it, all right, it is not going to be helpful. And for the guns and things like this that are on the streets already, we have got to make sure that we as a neighborhood, as a community, are cracking down on those folks who are out there, who are in our neighborhoods, who are around our kids, who are going through these types of things, and showing them that this is not what it is. This is not what we have to do in order to get our point across. There are many other ways to do that. There are people you can talk to. There are places you could go. There are other things that you can do to put yourselves in a position to where you feel better about what's going on. So this is me personally saying to all of you that are out there, young and old, who are witnessing the violence that is going on in this country, it is up to each and every last one of us to make a stand and say that I personally am not going to let this continue. I am going to protect the children that are out here. I am going to make sure that my neighborhood is safe. It starts with you. All right. It looks like we've got hotlines and questions. Once again, veterans issues 312-738-1060. All right. So, Slow Arts Day, April 27th, will be coming up this month. The National Veterans Arts Museum will be participating. It is a global all-volunteer event with one simple mission: help more people discover for themselves the joy of looking at and loving art. People all over the world visit local museums and galleries and look at art slowly. Take it all in. Take a moment to see what is out there for us and how other people are expressing themselves. All right, so if you are around, please come up to the museum, take a moment out. Even if you're not at the museum, take a moment to look at the art that is around us, the pictures that are hanging up in your houses, the things that are outside, even the billboards that are on your streets. Take a look at them. Sit there and think about what it is that they're telling you. And once you are done with all of that and the day is getting ready to come to a close, take a look outside. Watch the sunset, because there's nothing like the live art that you will see. It's something about it that gives you a perspective that is like no other. It's one thing to see the sunset through a picture, but it's nothing like seeing it through your own eyes. So take a moment, Slow Arts Day, April 27th, to take a look at some artwork and see how it affects you. See what it is that is out there for you. All right? So, there's been a lot of other things going on. Your art making process. My art making process, or the caller who just called in with the question, because I do all different types of art, there really is no method to the madness, but one of the first things that I have to do is I have to be inspired. There has to be something that puts that spark into me. And that spark comes from a lot of different places. Sometimes it comes from a simple phrase that I hear on the streets. A lot of times nowadays, more often than not, that inspiration comes from the wonderful youth that I spend my time with Monday through Fridays at South Loop Elementary School. It is one of those things to where something that is said will spark a process that says, you know, I need to do something. When it comes to my visual arts, that thing starts a daydreaming session at times, to where I'm sitting off in a room and I'm constantly thinking about over and over again something that was said, and I'm looking at how is this playing out? Like, where's the movie in my mind coming from? And from that movie, where am I going to take this? What mediums am I going to use? Am I going to do this as a pencil sketch? Is this going to be a graffiti or spray paint? Is this going to be acrylic? So once I have gone through and I've decided which mediums I'm going to use, then it kind of begins to flow. And with that flow, other arts start to come into my artistic process. So while I'm out drawing and sketching out these ideas, there's music playing in the background. So if, for instance, the last piece that I did for the Veterans Art Museum, which was the evolution of war, started off talking about how youth start off in high school and coming out into the world and trying to figure out their place. It's like, well, how do I show this stage here to a final stage in military? And as this picture's beginning to play, I'm starting to listen to a lot of the music that I listened to when I was in the military. Songs like Proud to Be an American, My Country 'Tis of Thee, a lot of country music, believe it or not, gets played off in there while I'm going through this, because I started thinking about the people that I was serving with, and how I'd be out in the field and every day someone is playing some country music in the background. And so while I'm thinking about my military experience, that is something that comes up. I'm thinking about that type of music, and I go and I find it through the archives and I bring up that music. And then I'm thinking about, well, what music was I listening to while I was over there? And then you have artists like Outkast, Bombs Over Baghdad, things of that nature that come into play. And from there, you kind of just zone out, and then the art just kind of flows from that point. With the music, it's a little bit different. When I get a time to decide I want to put my music together, one of the first things I do is I sit back and I say, okay, what's the concept? Once I found the concept, am I going to write to the beat or am I going to write away from the beat? And from there, the process just kind of goes, and you start writing until you've written everything that you could do. Well, looks like, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for me to go. So we're going to have to wrap up. I'm going to have to say goodbye to you all. But before I go, I want to remember to tell you all, you need one thing, is you need to stand by what you're saying or stop saying it. All right? So once again, my name is Mel L. This has been the Veterans Arts on Air. You can catch us again at the Veterans Arts Museum, 4041 North Milwaukee, 6 Corners in Portage Park. I will see you again next month, first Thursday of the month. Peace and blessings. I'm out.